Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about functions. In this tutorial, we will be learning the most important concepts in Python programming, which is functions. So function basically help us build reusable and modular logic in Python. Okay. So they help us avoid writing the same code repeatedly, and we can reuse whatever code we have written again and again without the duplication. So basically it is avoiding us to help code duplication reduction. Okay. They also help in improving readability and maintainability of the code, because there is some small snippet of code which is written as a function, and it is very easy to debug that function instead of every appearance of it. Okay. Python provides built-in functions as well as user-defined functions. Now, if we talk about a calculator, just think about a calculator. Whenever you press an addition button plus, whatever inputs you give, it performs the addition and gives you the output, right? So every time there are different inputs, there are different numbers, but whatever task this button is doing, this is a function, right? It is giving you different output based upon the input that you have given, but that button is having some statements which are fixed. The logic is fixed that it has to do addition. Now we are going to do something very similar. So it is very similar to case of calculator. Okay. We are going to write this add function on our own. Okay. So let us see how we can do that. Instead of writing every time add 10, 20, print, add 15, 25, like instead of writing every time, we are performing a simple function call which is add. Now what this add is, that is already defined somewhere. How do you define it? You just write def keyword, okay, followed by the function name. Here my function name is add, followed by the number of arguments you want to give. I want to add two numbers, 3 numbers, or whatever numbers, maybe A and B, only 2 numbers. And then followed by a colon, just like we used to write colon for if else. Okay, so that means the function block starts here. Now separated by tab, you write a couple of statements that you want your functions to perform. Okay, now in those statements here, what we want to do is we want to perform A plus B. Okay, we also want user to see the calculation we have performed, so we will return it here. For returning it here, you can either store it in a variable and return that variable, or you can directly write return A plus B. Okay, there are different benefits of functions, like we can basically improve the readability of the code, we can improve debugging of the code, definitely it reduces the code duplication, it simplifies our maintenance, and also reduces program size. How is it reducing the program size? We are not writing the same code again and again, but we are calling that function that is written just once. Okay. Now functions are inbuilt as well in the Python that you might have been using so far. You should have used print function, range function, length function, sum, type, max. There are some inbuilt function in Python that already exist. And how do you call those functions? Using the function name followed by parenthesis. Okay, this is the way to call a function. Consider analogy of a real life example. Suppose there is a coffee machine. Okay, what it does, it takes input as coffee beans and water and maybe milk. Okay, whatever arguments, whatever input you are giving, then it does the action. There are some triggers. It does the work it is assigned, and in return it gives you a prepared coffee, right? So now whatever is written as a recipe in this coffee machine, you have written it once and you are using it every time with different ingredients. Okay, now the ingredients here are your inputs, coffee bean and water. We call them arguments. Okay, now once it receives the input, it performs the action, the code that is written inside the function body, and if there, it will return you some output which is written as return keyword. Okay, so this Function is similar to this coffee machine where coffee beans and water are arguments or input. The coffee machine, which is having a recipe, is your function body, which is having some set of statements. Then the output, the coffee, is basically the return value that a function provides. Okay. Now, if we have to write our own function instead of using the inbuilt functions, how you would write the anatomy of a function? Okay. So there is the def keyword, a keyword to create the function. Okay. Followed by a unique name, which is your function name. Okay. And in brackets, you will provide the input or the arguments or the parameters, the data passed, which we are passing it into the function. Okay. Then there are some statements. There is optional docstring as well, which is basically used for documentation, which explains what this function is doing. A set of statements, which is the task that function will be doing, that is an executable code block. And finally, a return keyword followed by the value that you are going to return, which is the output sent back to the program. Program means the calling program. Okay. So let us see how can we create our own function. We have created a function greet. Okay. So for that we have written the keyword def followed by the function name, which is greet, parenthesis and colon. Empty parenthesis means there is no argument that is going inside the function, followed by the body of the function, whatever you want the function to execute. And once you have written this function, you will call it somewhere. So you will simply take the function name and parenthesis, it will be called and done. Let us try to do it in Google Colab. Okay. So let me create a new notebook here. So just understand that functions are used to improve the readability, reduce the errors, and encourage the modular programming that we will be discussing further. For example, here we have written def keyword. The function name is greet because I am not passing any arguments. Okay, what I want it to do is print welcome to the functions tutorial. Okay, now my function is already written. Let me try running it. Okay, now it is connected and this part of the function is already done. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to run this. So I will simply call this function and it will give me the body. It has executed the code which is written in its body. Okay, because it carries a print statement, it will be printed. It doesn't contain any return value so far. Okay. Now how it got executed, we called the function. Okay, if it had taken some arguments, say Jyoti, it passes those arguments and then it executes whatever is written inside it. Okay, and then it returns the value. Let us see how it does, how it takes arguments and works with that. But there are some common mistakes that you should avoid while writing functions. First, you should never call a function without parentheses. You must add parentheses every time you are calling a function. Also, if you are performing something and you want that value to be returned as output, you must follow it with a return symbol. Okay, so write the return keyword followed by the value that you want to return so that it is returned to the calling. Let's try to understand functions which takes parameters as input. Okay, so parameters basically allow data to be passed to a function. Like we earlier wrote the function def greet and there was no argument in it, but here we are going to provide an argument in it, and then we are providing the function body, and whenever I am calling this function I am giving some argument here. Okay, So let us try to do it here. So it is def greet any argument that it takes. Okay, let me call it name, and then print, let us say hello name. Okay, so this is the function body that is complete. Now let me call this function. Because this function is taking a parameter as input, I'll have to provide one. So let me write here one parameter. Okay, so because it's a string, let me give it like this. Okay, try calling it, and it has taken that argument. Now I can use this function again and again with different arguments. Say greet, maybe say Alice. Okay, now run it. Okay, so that is how we are going to reuse functions. So next is the function with a return value. Any function which performs something and in return returns something, that function is having a function with return value. Let us try to write one function here. Say def add. It takes, say, two arguments, a and b. Okay, colon, definitely we should not forget that, and maybe we say return a plus b. Okay, here my function body is finished. Now let me try to call this function. Say add 10 and 20. Okay, so it must return me the value, and if it is returning the value, it is just getting printed here. If I want to store this value somewhere, I may write c is equal to add 10 plus 20 and then print c. This will also give me the same result. Okay, so the overall function ecosystem has basically 4 different types of functions. One is built-in functions, which is provided by Python itself, like length, max, print, sum, type, range. Other are user-defined functions, which custom functions which are created using def, that we tried doing right now. The next type of functions are anonymous functions and recursive functions. Let us talk about them one by one. Okay, can you try writing a function on your own without using that def keyword? I just told you, like, whenever you have to define a function, you have to use the def keyword. What if I don't have to use the def keyword? What if I don't define a function using a def keyword? For that, anonymous functions or lambda functions come into picture. Okay, so lambda function is used for a short or a throwaway operation. For example, in standard way, if I had written the square function, I would have used the keyword def, function name square, the argument x, and I would have returned value x star x. So it is basically the square of the function. Had I taken the lambda approach, I could have written, okay, square is equal to lambda x colon x asterisk x. Now I can simply call this function square 5. Okay. So how do you think we can write a lambda function? So you can simply take any value, say add function, you can say write lambda x, and you can write x plus x. So it is 2x, okay, and you can print it. Next type of function is recursive function. Recursive function is a function which calls itself to solve a similar instance of the same problem. Okay, so just imagine you want to calculate the factorial of 5. What is factorial of 5? 5 into factorial of 4 into and then 3 into 2 into 1. This is what it is. So it is 5 into factorial of 4, 4 into factorial of 3, and 4 factorial of 3 in turn is 3 into factorial of 2. Factorial of 2 is 2 into factorial of n, and base case, which is n equal to 1. Now what could I do instead of writing it in detail? What could I have done is I can call a recursion. So I have defined a function factorial which takes the argument as, say, n, which is the number. Okay, so base case I defined as if n equal to 1, then return 1, otherwise return n times factorial of n minus 1. Okay. So the possibility here is you are calling the same function again and again. Okay, you are simply writing it once and you are calling inside the function body only. Okay, so let us try to write the same function here. Def factorial. This is the name of the function, the argument, okay, colon. Now if n, let us check the condition, if n is 1, then I would say okay, return 1, factorial of 1 is 1, okay. If else, return n into factorial of n minus 1. Now let me calculate the factorial of 5, which I did in my example. Okay, so here it is, the value is 120. Another one was lambda function. Let us try to write lambda function here. I am simply writing function square, which is equal to lambda x, and what I want to calculate from it, I am going to calculate x into x. Okay, now let me use this function. I am using it as in the print, function name is square, and in, because I have to use a parenthesis to call a function, and here my function takes argument x, so let me write any value and just run it. Okay, now this function is executed. It is giving me square of x. Okay, so we can also write different functions which has variables in different scopes. So you can set boundaries for the variables which are being used. Okay, there are two different kinds of variables. One is local, another one is global. Okay, local variable basically is defined inside a function and it is accessible there only. It is a temporary variable. Otherwise, the global variable, they are accessible throughout the program. Okay, instead of being accessible within the function only, they are defined outside the function and they exist until the program ends. So let us try to see this example of scope. Okay, so we have defined the function def demo takes argument x. Now x is x plus 5 and I am writing print x comma a. I have defined here outside the function a equal to 10. I have sent demo a and then printing a. Okay, let us see what it should print. So here when this a goes here in the demo function, it becomes x. The value of x is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So it is printed 15 here. And value of a, because a is global variable, value of a is not changed. It must give me output of 15 comma 10. Okay. So this is how scope works. So this is lambda function which you can write using a def keyword, without a def keyword, that we have already discussed. Okay. Now talking about, we say that we can pass argument in a function. Okay, and there are different types of arguments. So first one is positional arguments. Positional arguments are those which we can basically have some position and they are specified to position only. They depend upon the order. Okay, so here input, it is taking two arguments, name and age. The position matters. So you write name first and then age. Okay, the position of the arguments depend upon the order. Okay. Instead, you can also use keyword arguments where in this same function name and age, you could have written age is equal to 20 and name is equal to Rahul and then passed it here. That kind of arguments are called as keyword arguments, which basically map whatever is given as input based upon the keyword. Okay, so this is how you can write a keyword argument. Then is the default argument. Default argument is used when when the function wants to take an argument, but if user doesn't give any argument. So in that case, it will use the default argument only. Okay. So we have used a def keyword, function name is greet. We have given the argument is name. Okay. If user passes some argument in name, it will print hello name. If it doesn't passes, it will automatically assign it default value student. So if we summarize, there are positional arguments which are mapped by position. Okay. There are keyword based arguments which are mapped by parameter name. There are default arguments which have some values which will be used in a default case when we don't have the input by user. Next is the argument which is variable length argument, which is used as arg or keyword arg. Okay, this is for flexible input length. So arg syntax accepts any number of positional arguments. So if you have written args, it will accept any number of input arguments. If you have written kw args, which is for keyword based, any number of keyword arguments. Okay, so these features are especially useful when designing a reusable library. Okay, so let us see how we can use these arguments, this args and keyword args. Let me write a new cell here. Maybe say define total. This is the name of the function, and I'm saying any number of arguments could be there. So it could be input would be numbers, right? And then in return, what I'm sending is sum of all the numbers. Okay, then I'm calling this total function, and now I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So because it is variable length, it can take any number of arguments. So let us try to run it. Okay, so had I given 4 numbers, it would have added 4. Okay, now if we want to take if we basically want to do it as keyword based argument, so now what would it have been? Say I can give anything, maybe double star, say info. Okay, this is the argument. Function name is say details. Okay, now I am saying for everything, let me say for now I'm taking keys and values in info dot items. Okay, then I'm saying okay, now you can print the key, comma, and maybe followed by the value. Okay, so it will print this. Now let me call this function, say details, name is Alice, say age is 25, city is New York. Now I have given 3. First of all, this is variable number of arguments. Then I am using whatever I want to say. So I am using, because I am using the key and value, key and value, key and value, so keyword base. So it will iterate through all the items, all key value pairs in info.items, which is info is all these arguments. This is taken as info, and it will print each key value pair separated by a colon. Okay, let us try to run it. This is how it looks. Okay, so this is what we have done, args and keyword args. So Python also supports first class functions. That means function can be assigned to variables, it can be passed as argument, it can be returned from other functions as well. So function features these callbacks and many Python libraries where if you're calling a function, it may take as input a function, another function, which is taking some variable, okay? Then it can return a function which can be input to another function, okay? Or it can return a function which is going to some Python library, some module, some callback, anywhere. So this is how powerful functions are, okay? So they can be assigned to variables, they can be passed as arguments, and they can be returned from other functions. Let us take an example. So the same example, we had that function greet, which is not taking any input, and we are returning hello. Okay, this is a string we are returning. Now, I am assigning greet this message, and this message keyword is being called. So it will automatically call this greet and print hello. Can you try creating a function which basically computes this grader? Okay, so you have learned now how to create the function. So using the def keyword, this grading that you have to do, okay, using if else statements, but it has to be done in a function. So what you can do is, so maybe def function name is grader, okay, and it takes as inputs marks, okay. Now in function body, the same if else statements, okay, and then you return grade, whatever grade is there, okay. In this function body, you will write the same code that we did in if else, okay. So you can go back and check that tutorial. So let us try, if some function is given to you, so can you predict the output based upon the local and global variables that we learned? It is the same. See, a is equal to 10 function is called here. Now demo of 10 is being called. Now here x becomes 10 and x is equal to x plus 5. So x becomes 15. X is being returned here. So it will print 15, and again it is asking to print a because a's value is not changed. It is global. It will remain 10. So output would be 15, 10. Okay. So these are a couple of practice programs that you must practice. Writing a function to find square of a number. Try doing it using lambda function. Function to calculate factorial, we just discussed, and you have to just do it again for practice. Function to check whether a number is prime or not. Function to find the largest among three numbers, and a recursive function to compute the Fibonacci. Okay. Now practice these concepts by writing your own functions and experimenting with different inputs. Regular coding practice is basically the key to become proficient in Python. Okay. Thank you so much.